Hey, Grow Squad, welcome once again to the Eugene Hamilton podcast. I am your host. Yeah, they call me Eugene, but glad to see you. Glad you've tuned in today. Forgive me if you can see something on my shirt. I think I had something good to eat today. Right? You know how sometimes you have something so good. My son is notorious for that. If he doesn't have his bib on, of course, he's getting older. He's like, "Why I got to wear this bib?" I'm like, "Because you keep wasting stuff." Well, I should have worn a bib myself because I've got a little bit of food on my shirt. So don't let that distract you. Don't let that get you off course. We got a hot one today. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much for your support. Go ahead and like. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and share. Your share matters, right? Let somebody know that we've got something popping over here on the Eugene Hamilton podcast. And today we got another hot one that I hope you're ready. Got your seatbelt buckled because we're taking off real soon. Let's go ahead and pray and move forward. God, we are excited about today. We've never seen today before. We've never seen the blessings that you have for us yet. We've never seen the miracles you're going to do in our lives today just yet. We have never experienced you like we're going to experience you today. So help us if we're down to pick our heads up and expect great things. Help us if we are excited to get even more excited because you are going to use us to help do powerful things, not just today, but also moving forward. In your name, amen. Thank you once again for supporting my latest project, my children's book. Once again, you know, it's always interesting because life is always presenting you with different opportunities to do new things. And the one that oftentimes capitalizes on the next opportunity, and this is not even a part of the podcast episode, I'm going to get to it in just a minute, but the person that capitalizes on the opportunity oftentimes is the person that levels up in life. I want you to get rid of or to get past, and we'll do a whole nother episode on this. We've done one in the past, but I think we can do a deep dive on this whole thing of fear. So many times in life, we are afraid of how we look. We are afraid of what people are going to think. And I get it. I'm not acting like I'm some kind of steel curtain where I don't hear noise. I don't hear people's opinions. I don't hear people saying certain things. There's one person who asked me, who left a comment the other day on one of my, I don't know if it was a live I was doing, said, "Why does your voice sound like that?" I'm like, okay, cool. My voice isn't for them. So at some point, if you're going to, like we said last episode, if you haven't listened to the episode, go back, download it, listen to it right now, right? But you got to get to a place where you're guided by purpose and not by fear. That you allow your purpose to be your compass and not your fears. Where you allow your calling to be your compass and not what you're afraid of. So one thing I was afraid of was putting out a book. Because you know what? My book lands on people's steps, on couches, on coffee tables, in classrooms. And I don't have a chance to sit down and say, "Oh, I meant this by that." "Oh, no, don't read it that way." Or no, nah, people have their own interpretation. And I'm glad to know that young people are being impacted in a positive way by the message of go boldly, grow broadly, and glow brightly. Today, I want to talk a little bit about choices. Yeah. And I believe it's important that I don't care if you're young, if you're mature, or in between, you got to know that every decision that you make is a big deal. Choices matter. Now, sometimes I hear people say, in fact, it's interesting. I can't remember the young lady's name, but she was on some reality show, and she's now learning how to walk again. But she, I guess, a few years ago, and I got to go back and read it in its totality. But the gist of what I got based on her interview, I may have caught her on the Shade Room somewhere, but she was talking about how she got in her car and she drove drunk. Talking about choices. She talked about how she got in her vehicle. Somebody got in the car. She took them home. They got home safely. She kept on going after she dropped them off, and that's when she got into the accident. Now, from her tone, I could be totally off, but based on, I wasn't the only person that felt this way because people in the comments were kind of saying the same thing. It sounded as if she has a ways to go before she takes accountability for her actions. It sounds as if she's not willing to say, you know what, I was wrong. And this is not a sponsored ad, but don't drink and drive. Don't be buzzed and drive. I'm just going to put that in here right now. I know that most of the people that rock with me are individuals who try to be responsible. But if you're somebody who got this podcast, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're listening. Let's all be responsible. And one of the ways that I'm responsible, I just don't drink at all. Follow me, right? I don't indulge. But this young lady indulged. She indulged that night. And she drove. It is interesting that she was able to safely get someone home. I don't know if she was more drunk than her, but her angle was they should have stopped me from driving. Think about it. Who in the world, I don't know what grown person who decides that they want to drive, that you can stop from driving outside of getting into a physical altercation with them. You've seen many people leave places, whether it be a restaurant, whether it be a bar. I've seen people say, oh, I just had a couple of margaritas and I got in the car and they end up taking somebody's life. Choices, decisions, and this is not a Debbie Downer podcast episode. That just kind of came to mind as I'm talking about choices, decisions, and the reality that sometimes we got to live with our choices and our decisions. Yeah. As quiet as it's kept. When we think about it, right? I mean, she's living with some choices that she's made. And check it out. I'm living with some choices that I've made in my life. And miss me with all this perfect front that people put on in life. I am not perfect. I've never been perfect. I've made some blunders, some missteps in my life. And guess what? I can't blame anybody but me. I think I told you about that time that prior to my decision now not to drink, there was a time when I was a teenager that I got drunk, right? And I got in a car and I think one person told me not to drive and I brushed them off. Again, I know from experience, I brushed them off. I got in my car anyway. And I give all glory to God that nothing happened. I did that one time in my life and never, ever. It was almost like I woke up the next morning throwing up, vomiting from all of the alcohol the previous day. And I thought to myself, how in the world did I get home? I remembered how inebriated I was. I remembered how drunk I was. And we were drinking like horrible liquor. It wasn't even like no good stuff. It was like Mad Dog. I don't even make it anymore. MD, Mad Dog 2020. I'm some cheap little gas station stuff. And that day I made a decision. Thankfully nothing happened. Thankfully, there were no accidents. But I said to myself, before anything happens that I'll regret, I'm going to decide today not to do that again. Now, there's some people who don't get that opportunity. Lots of people don't get an opportunity to evaluate, reevaluate, and make better choices. I'm talking about this year. I'm keeping it real. I'm not sitting here to this year. I'm keeping it real. I'm telling you, in life, I haven't always made the best of the choices. But there's one choice you can make every single day that I'm almost certain will change everything. Your decisions matter. Your choices matter. Your decisions every morning you get up can fundamentally change the trajectory of your day if you commit to making one positive, among others, right? Among others, we've got to make a series of decisions in the morning. When you wake up, I don't know what your routine is. I know my routine. I make a number of decisions every single morning, but there's one decision that you can make that I believe it all comes down to your alignment relative to your personal walk and your deep sense of self-reflection in life. Every day we're faced with a decision whether or not to walk with confidence or to allow non-confidence or lack of confidence to order our steps. Every day. You see, when I get up now, there was a time in my life where, I would waste days laying in bed, lounging around, not doing much. And those decisions started to catch up with me. I'm talking about not making money, unable to provide, unable to pay bills on time. Those decisions, I said, you know what? I I'm better than that. I know that I've been called to do more, right? I realize I've been called to do some amazing things, and I can't sit here and allow life to pass me by. I got to make one choice. Let's talk about alignment. And once you have clarity on your values, once you have clarity on your purpose, once you have clarity on direction, alignment begins to happen. When you're aligned, I'm talking about mind, body, and soul, and you're in sync. This is why when you think about all the things in your life that work together, right? You got to ask yourself every single day, does this choice reflect greatly on who I am? Oh, does that decision reflect greatly on who I am? Does that word, how I want to respond, how does that reflect on me? When you begin to think about all the choices and decisions, I heard one pastor say it this way. He said, you are the sum total of every decision you've ever made prior to today. We're the sum total of it, whether it's good, bad, indifferent, whether we made some poor choices and have asked for forgiveness and we started over brand new. Those decisions have still had some impact on who we are. It still has some bearing on who we are. It's not always a negative bearing. Right? Because of some poor choices I've made before, I've learned from those choices. I've learned from those decisions, and I'm a better man because I've turned my life around. You follow what I'm saying? When we say we're the sum total of our decisions, we're not saying that your bad decisions are still holding you back. No, sometimes poor choices that we've made in the past have helped us to kind of take lessons from those poor choices, to turn our backs on making those poor choices, and become a better human being. So, as you're thinking about life, as you're thinking about that one powerful choice you can make every single day, I want to encourage you to ask yourself these 3 questions every morning, which will lead you to making that one powerful decision. Ask yourself, and I wrote them down here, I don't want to mess them up. What and who do I value most in life? When you wake up in the morning, ask yourself, what and who do I value most in life? That will impact your decision making for that day like never before. Number 2, ask yourself, what choices am I currently making that align with those values? What choices, what decisions I just said who or what I value most in life. Now I'm asking myself, what choices am I currently making in my life that align with those who I say I value and that which I claim to value? And then thirdly, what is one powerful choice I can make today that aligns with my true self? You see, there's oftentimes people are making choices based on trends, based on popularity, based on who's in the group, who's watching. You got to learn how to make decisions every day based upon where you want your life to take you. So today, ask yourself, as you're driving, maybe you're sitting down watching this, ask yourself as you prepare for tomorrow or for tonight or for the present. If I were to rate myself on a scale of 1 to 10, how good am I at making positive choices? Ask myself, how much do I value positive decision making? And will my decisions today, tomorrow, and moving forward have a positive reflection on me, my values, and those that I value? I hope you got something from today's podcast episode. I'm going to ask you a favor to share this out and tag me where you can. Share this out. Tag me where you can at Eugene J. Hamilton. I promise you, the more shares we have, the more you are spreading this message, the more people will be impacted by what I have to share. So thank you once again for being a part of the Grow Squad. Now, I want to also let you know this. If you join my group, if you follow me on Instagram, you can join my channel. I've got an exclusive group on Instagram. My handle is at Eugene J. Hamilton. It's down in the show notes. But we're going to do an exclusive drop here in the next couple of weeks with a new T-shirt. You know, our signature T-shirt just simply says "Go, Grow, Glow." But I've got a new T-shirt, a new drop. We're doing a special exclusive drop. We're talking about grow with the flow. And the message behind grow with the flow is that the flow of life sometimes takes you down roads that are uncomfortable. I mean, situations that you didn't sign up for. And sometimes the flow takes you to good high mountaintop experiences. But wherever you are, learn how to grow with the flow. We'll talk more about that later on. In the meantime, thank you for tapping in. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here with me today. And don't forget, whatever you do, always be going. Always find yourself growing. And nonetheless, when the rubber meets the road, you'll find yourself glowing. Go be great. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.